Good afternoon. My name is Margaret John, and I'm going to speak to you this afternoon on the subject of St. Augustine's evil argument. This has been a question that's been asked by many people over a period of time, including Apostle Paul. But first, I'm going to discuss St. Augustine. He was born in North Africa in 354 CE. He's known as the greatest of the Christian church fathers. His father, Patrick, was not in the church, but his mother was a devout Christian. St. Augustine himself did not convert to Christianity until 386 CE. And he detailed this experience in his book, Confessions, in which he stated how he was waiting for his mother one afternoon, and he heard his voice speak to him, saying, "Pick up and read." And I guess it's that over a period of time, he picked up the book of the Bible and he began to read, beginning from the book of Genesis. But his concern was, and had been for a very long time, the subject of evil, because he was addicted to sex, and he felt that this was evil. He does not make any attempts to define evil, but he did expect. He made the attempt to try to explain it, not to describe it itself, but to explain it. He said that how can you establish an understanding of something that you can't explain? In Confessions in chapter 7, number 5, he said that evil is something that you suffer rather than an act of humanity. He goes on to question how he was able to will evil into his life and to reject good. He concluded that evil is not a being, it's not something that we should fear, because the good God made everything good. God was not corruptible, so therefore he did not create evil. He felt that when God created man, that man was created with the will to define God or to go against God, but God will not go against man. Man was created in the image of God. And I should have said that in the beginning that in order to seek an understanding of evil, he went back to the beginning, to the book of Genesis. He said, and before I go into that, I would like to just add on that subject of evil and knowing right from wrong and free will. He made the comment regarding friends of his that one afternoon they stole an apple, not an apple, I'm sorry, pears from his neighbor's tree. It was not that it was poor or hungry, but was there, and as I guess as boys, they took the pears. But this is something that had bothered him for a very long time, because the question came to his mind is, why did we do that? Why? And for some reason, this bothered him, doing something that he felt was wrong and not understanding the reason why. He made the comment, he said, although I want to do good, evil is right there with me. But in my inner being, I delight in God's law. But I see another law at work in me, raging against the law of my mind, and making me a prisoner of the law of sin at work within me. So what he's saying is that what what a wrecked man. Who am I? Who would rescue me from this body? Now, as I stated before, in order to understand the concept of evil, he argued that when God created Adam and Eve, that he created them with free will, as I said before. And I agree with this. And I went back to the book of Genesis, and I too questioned why did Adam and Eve eat of the tree of life that God had forbidden them to eat of? And let's look at Genesis 1 and 31, which reads that God saw everything that was good, that he had created as good, as very good. Genesis 2 and 9 states, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life that stands in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam in Genesis 2 and 17, he do not eat of the tree of good that's in the midst of the garden, which was the tree of good and evil, of the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. For whatever reason, there was a serpent, and he came to Eve, Adam's wife, and they had a conversation. And to make a long story short, Eve consented to eat of the fruit of the tree. She put Adam. She then gave the fruit to Adam, who ate of the tree also. So naturally, when God came that afternoon, and he called to them, and they said, "We cannot come. We are naked." And he wants to know who told you that you're naked. And this Adam right away began to blame Eve. He blamed the serpent, and God, in His anger, told them, he they were cursed. In other words, he put them out of the garden, out of this place of beauty. He placed them out. He told them, "No, get out. From this day, you're cursed." He said in Genesis, the third chapter, the 22nd verse, he said, "Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil." I conclude the thought that I don't think any man has the wisdom of the understanding to understand God, who's all good, creating something that's known as Eve. I think that this is why he gave man that choice. And Adam and Eve had the choice to decide between good or to eat of the tree, which was told not to, or not to, just like we have a choice to decide against something we want to do or something we do not want to do. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.